Hey everybody, it's been a little bit, but I wanted to just give a little bit of an update on my painting progress, as well as the different projects that I'm planning on doing next, and kind of what I'm working on at the moment. Most of this today is going to focus on Saga and Epic, but I'm going to talk about some other projects just coming up. These are my, I guess I'll call them the warrior class. They're not the Thanes like the Hearthguard are for Scots, but they're like the warrior class of Scots. And yeah, I'm kind of pleased the way these came out. They're fairly similar to the Thanes that I did, although there's a lot less chainmail on them. And I didn't paint kilts on them, although I did give for those that had the sort of cloth that goes around their chest, I did paint 3 of them, I believe, with that. I thought it was 3, but maybe it's actually only 2. No, it's 3. They're right up front. This guy's got his shield in the way. And so 3 of them they just happen to be in a row here, coincidentally. Use the shields by Little Big Men Studios again. These ones, unlike last time, were mainly the kind that you use water. There's only one that you press on, and the rest were the ones that you press on and just put a dab of water. And they actually came out really nice. I noticed these ones are a little shinier, the style that you put the water on than the press-on kind, which is interesting. I think I prefer the more muted look, which I try to achieve anyway, just by using like matte varnish on it. Try to dull it down a little bit. Not sure yet how well that worked, but I'll have to see. I've done this fairly recent. There's a little bit of shine there, but not too bad. But yeah, like this is sort of the look I ended up getting out of it. I mixed these guys up with a couple of different primary colors. Like I mainly use red, brown, and sort of like an off-white cloth for their primary color patterns, and really mixed up their main clothing and capes, and in some cases it's a kilt but just not a tartan pattern. Just sort of mix those up among them. Pretty happy with them. I have another group of warriors like this to do, and then also Macbeth, which I think I'll do at the same time. And I have some other Scots to do, but I think this is a completion of the main set, and I think after doing the next group of warriors in Macbeth and having completed that main set and what I got in that purchase, I think I'll have 5 points, so just shy of 6. Which I wasn't really going to make up with a standard bearer and like a priest, because I have a couple other individual models that I picked up over time. Those won't bring me to 6 points. I think I'm going to get some levies with javelins to bring me up to 6, and kind of go from there. I'll end up making more purchases, because even though I'll have 6 points exactly, I like to have more choice in how I choose lists to play than that. Like my Anglo-Danes, I definitely have more than 6 points. But this will be good, really, to start out with some 4-point games, this 5-point list. And so I will do that. This took me a lot longer to do than I thought. I think part of it is, generally I always lag behind my deadlines that I set in my own head. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but also my hobby room is just a disaster right now because of work going on in our basement. And I think that's been a bit of a challenge at times, and that is going to be rectified pretty soon. It's already in the process of my basement being finished. I'm actually moving to a new hobby room that's slightly bigger, not too much, but a little bit bigger, and so that'll be nice. I'll kind of maybe show you guys that at one point. Right now it's just a bare room and being constructed. So I'm going to pan. So I am going to be doing some warriors soon. I'm working on some epic terrain and models, and I'm actually going to show the status of some of the painting that I've done with my epic terrain and stuff, and just like a future project. I think I'm going to try to do and finish a little bit of epic terrain, and I'll talk about that when I have the terrain out, but I've been doing a lot of epic gaming, so I'll be right back. So I have some of the terrain that I printed here painted up. And I'm actually really pleased with the way this has come out. This is just stuff that I printed and then painted. So it's kind of nice. This would have cost me a fair bit of money, like to purchase a lot of the buildings that I have, because I don't have all of them in front of you here. These are just examples. These are all kind of the same set. And then there's this one here, which I've shown a lot, and I've painted that one too. And you know, it for whatever reason didn't have as much detail. It's kind of it has some nice crisp lines, but didn't pop as much as, let's say, this one in my mind. But also it had a little bit more detail with the keelas and things. But still, they're doing the job quite nicely. I've played a number of Epic games now, and the terrain, I think, is working out really well. In addition to these pieces, these are some of the ones that I've painted that were just little objectives, and I have more of these in the queue to paint. Just really simple. I have a lot of these. These are actually GW ruins that I've made stands on. I'm primarily going to be doing grays and some reds just to mix it up on the board. Now I've spray painted these and then airbrushed, but I haven't painted the earth. I think what I'm going to do is have it look kind of like this, but it's just going to be darker. I'm going to paint this dark gray and then highlight it, sort of similar to this, but maybe a little bit more contrast. But I'm going to do the same for this. Like, this is going to be a dark gray and then light gray, kind of like that, to create the contrast with the red. Just that I primed this red to start. And this is just plaster, essentially, for the ground on some MDF that I've made. So yeah, so that's kind of coming along nice. So I'm going to finish that stuff up. I think I'm going to finish my terrain that I have now, which won't take long, and painting it before I start my next group of warriors. Not just to have a bit of a break, which I don't totally need a break. I'm enjoying doing the Scots, but I have been playing a lot of Epic. I have a game of Saga scheduled already over the holidays. I'll likely be doing my Anglo-Danes. I'm not sure that I'll have my warriors ready. I don't think I will, because I'm going to be doing Epic terrain. But I've been playing Epic. I've played probably 3 game sessions of Epic. Some of them not complete games, some of them a complete game, just to kind of get the rules down with 2 different people. And really enjoying it. I have some things still to do as far as miniatures. Like, these are some bombers that I have. Ooh, sorry about that. Again, my hobby room is really tight here. I'm like sitting in between stuff to do this video. These are some bombers that I've magnetized. That I've just primed, that I'm getting ready to paint. We've not used any aircraft yet. I of course showed my Thunderhawk for aircraft, but I'm working on the base right now, and I've magnetized that as well, and so got that here. But one of the things that I'm kind of excited about, I have them scattered all over, but I have a Titan manifold that I'll be using for Epic eventually. So that's my Warlord Titan, my Reaver Titan, and 2 Warhounds. That'll be painting up as for my force. And as I said, they're not going to be painted as Dark Angels. They're going to be one of the Titan legions. It starts with a C. I think it's Corvus, or it's not Corvus. It's something like that. I have it on my iPad. They're black and white, and they often use stripes and checker patterns. And they have a planetary system that's close to the Dark Angels' homeworld. So I kind of thought it makes sense to have them be a supportive Imperial Titan Legion that might help them. So yeah, I'm really excited about these. I was really quite excited to get this Warlord. It's funny, this one here was used in multiple generations of Epic, and if they did make a version of the Armageddon for this, it was by Forge World, and the only real difference that I could see was this top canopy was a bit flatter. But it's, for the most part, very similar, the Reaver. But this one is very different than the version that was used in earlier versions, which also looks really cool. It looks more like this. But for whatever reason, I really like this version. It has a very similar look to these versions, the Lucius pattern Warhounds, in my opinion. It has that sort of stylistic look, and just kind of matches with what I have in a lot of ways. And so quite happy about that. It's funny, I'm not really planning on doing them anytime soon. I'm doing a slow grow because I am enjoying it, and I always like to have two sides when I do a game, just in case I get to a point where people have dropped out of it and I still want to play it and I want to be able to offer an army for someone to use. And so I oftentimes will always do two sides, like Musket and Tomahawks was sort of an example of that. And I have, when I bought this GW terrain behind you, the ruins, the pieces, it was through a purchase where I also acquired these two Eldar Titans. So I don't have Revenant Titans, but I do have a Warlock Titan right here. And also, I believe it's the Phantom Titan as well. So, down the road, I mean, realize Titan's not the thing you need to start with when you do an army, but it's in some ways one of the last things that I would typically get. But getting these and securing these for a potential future Eldar force was kind of cool. So I may end up getting one of those. But I'm not really rushing it. You know, we'll just see. It's just a matter of, this stuff's really expensive, and it's a matter of seeing whether I can get my hands on one. So, I actually did put up a post on Facebook to trade one of my extra Mordheim warbands for an Eldar Epic force, or at least the beginnings of one, a starting force, something I can use. And so, yeah, we'll see kind of how that goes. But as far as just sort of update on the channel, that you mostly have got it. I think I was really planning on having 2019 be starting from January, both Sharps Practice / Musket and Tomahawks, doing painting for French-Indian War, and my Beastmen, my Horde of Beastmen. I am definitely going to be doing that for the majority of the year, but I think some projects that I wanted to get done before that are going to bleed into that. One of them being, you know, just the stuff that we're talking about here may last me some through December, finishing off my Saga and this, but then also I want to paint the other side to the starting scenario for Twilight, World of Twilight, that we talked about. So in the beginning of the fall, I painted my Devanu, and always with the intention that once I got Saga and some other things out of the way, that I would then do the other side, the Fubarni. And so I want to be able to play that initial scenario for Twilight, so that will happen before I get into my main two big projects for next year. Really, the plan hasn't changed. Just my timeline has gotten a little skewed, and I don't really expect that things will get better over the holidays with it. But, you know, I'm doing pretty happy. Like, I ended up getting my terrain to a point where it looks better for the table. I had to play some games with just primed terrain at first, but it's slowly getting to the point to where I want it to for Epic. And the nice thing is, the folks that I've been playing Epic with are enjoying it as much as I am, and so really glad that we're getting into it. It's kind of funny because we're getting to this game that's been around for a long time, and just getting into it late. And we're getting into it at a time when everybody's kind of getting into Adeptus Titanicus, because that's the latest thing, and it looks awesome. But I'm quite happy to be playing the old Epic game, to be honest. I'm happy to build these armies up, and, you know, who knows what'll happen. So, all right. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. I apologize I have not been putting videos as frequently out. Part of that, I've just had almost, I'll be honest with you, I've had almost no desire with my hobby room the way it is to be doing anything in here. And it's really kind of slowed my video production. It's not really an excuse, but it's just a reality. So, yeah. Hope everybody enjoyed that, and talk to you later.